welcome back to another YouTube video of FLAIR FX, where we make trading very simple. Yet another video, yet another breakdown, guys. This week I'll be breaking down GBPUSD, NZDUSD, and NZDJPY, right? But before we get started, obviously, I did mention something about the FLAIR Trading Hub on Discord last week, and you guys went crazy, guys. So I've started posting a lot of my setups, especially on Discord, because it is so nice, guys. Like, it makes things so easier. So make sure to check it out. I post a bit of my NZD breakdowns, a bit of gold, how it turned out. There's a few trades that we took, like we took an AUD USD, and then it hit take profit. Everybody went crazy. So make sure to check the link in the bio to go check out that Discord. But without further ado, let's just check out the Instagram and then we'll start with the breakdown. Alright, and then on Instagram, we're still relatively hitting 850, 860, guys. Let's road to 1,000 followers, guys. As much as it is, love the love you guys are receiving, especially on the reels. You guys are going crazy, 1.5, 1.9, and the comments are going crazy, guys. I'll make sure to be as consistent as I possibly be, but make sure to check out the Instagram. This is the only Instagram I have. The main reason I promote my Instagram, especially on YouTube, is because of the scammers and everybody else. So make sure the Instagram is exactly like this, guys. This is the main reason why I keep on, because there's a lot of scammers out there. So make sure to check that out. Let's get into the business now. Alright, so the currency pairs have been moving pretty nicely for the past few weeks, you get what I mean? So I wanted to really start breaking down these types of pairs so we can get an understanding, you get what I mean? So we'll start off with GBPUSD, as we usually do. Like I said before, guys, we always know what we do. But today I'd really like us to start on the 4-hour time frame, mainly because the structure isn't that bad. Maybe we could even tap into the daily for my swing traders to understand more of the market structure, right? So this is the highest high we have, and then this is the lowest low we have. This is marked out on the weekly. I just forgot to move it, right? But when we look at the daily chart, like let's try and understand what's happening on the daily so we can understand the whole momentum, right? As you can clearly see, especially with these pairs, they're very slow. When is this? This was November. From November, GBPUSD hasn't been moving that much because we're comparing it throughout these days. Can you see all of that? Excuse the plane, guys. But as much as it is, as you can see, the charts they aren't moving as much as we'd like them to, you know. But there is a pattern that's forming a little bit over here. We can mark it out. You get what I mean? Price is pushing a little bit further higher and higher. But I'm anticipating a reversal, maybe into relatively over here in the lower time frames. But let's remove all of this and then start off marking out what do you call this market structure, because market structure will tell us where the market's trying to go and what the market's trying to do, right? So we'll start off pretty simple. Current market structure, this is what we're seeing. So we'll mark out this low just to understand what range we're playing in, you get what I mean, and that high, right? So relatively, this is where we're playing in. Price relatively came from the bottom over here, broke this high. We can mark this out as a break of character, break of structure, my bad, break of character. Hey, so break of character, break of structure, as much as it is. So this is an order block that's already I've been talking about, especially on the Discord and the group members, all the paying clients. Like, this is an order block that I really anticipate, because like there's so much coming with it. Like, there's a purge of liquidity over here, as much as it is. So this is something that we need to pay attention, like long term. We'll even mark it out like this, right? This is a long-term order block that I see us coming into, because I rarely see us retracing into here and pushing a further higher and higher, you get what I mean? But right now, with all the liquidity building over here, we can anticipate some sort of retracement and break of the structure, right? So we can mark this out, and then we see some sort of imbalance over here. So it even makes it more like high confidence, mainly because there's also an imbalance, you get what I mean? So as clearly as we can see that, so now where I am right now is like trying to understand how we can capitalize based on this market structure, because for price to get over here is going to be a very long time, right? So with my anticipation, with what I can see here, right, I was analyzing this with the student not so long ago, so he kind of showed me a different perspective as well as two, you get what I mean? So there was a break of structure that relatively happened over here, right? Or a purge of liquidity, so to say, right? So now the way price is moving relatively to this order block is making me very interested in it, right? Let's go to the 2 hour. I don't want to go to the 1 hour too early. Just want to understand market structure to the core, right? As you can clearly see, these strong pushes, guys, like these strong pushes, and price is coming back to fill those things, right? So my anticipation is that price could relatively come to this order block over here that we can clearly see over here. Maybe we could mark this under the box, because it's a relatively one word we're relatively thinking of trading soon, right? So yeah, there it is. This is very nice. We're allowing price to come back in, and as you can clearly see, like, there's a whole lot of liquidity resting over here, right? We can anticipate like a third touch over here, right? So we could just make this relatively like liquidity, right? So if I can zoom out a little bit like this, right? So my anticipation is that maybe with GBPUSD, we can get something relatively by this order block. Maybe our stop loss could be a bit higher, maybe 25 pips, 30 pips. And then we could push it. Like we could push it all the way down over here, relatively into this order block over here that we can clearly see, because this one has a whole lot of imbalance. There's an imbalance over here. There's a change of character that happened on the lower time frames, as you can clearly see, guys. So GBPUSD is looking nice. And it's a pair that really respects our structure. Like it doesn't have a problem with SMC, like especially with the concepts that we trade. You just need to be really patient with it, just like its sister Euro USD. It's the same thing. It's just that GBP is a bit quicker in response. But like, looking at everything, this order block is the most probably the high probable one. My anticipation, or my anticipation is that maybe this order block will be respected, right? Because it's on the 2-hour time frame, but it's also gonna play around. Like me knowing GBPUSD, there's going to be some wick action. There is going to be some sort of liquidity taking, like something similar to this. Relatively the same way we had liquidity grab over here is the way I'm predicting the way things to go. So price could relatively come over here and break this high as this, right? And the thing is, you can't push the whole stop loss all the way over here, right? So my suggestion is maybe put an alert so you can really monitor price, especially when you get to these points, because it is a very sensitive spot, because price could just keep on pushing higher and higher before it comes lower, right? So just make sure you pay attention. But overall, everything will be posted in the Discord. Everything that I analyze over here will be posted in the Discord, so make sure to check the link in the bio. Make sure to check the Discord out. Make sure to what is this, to communicate, guys. Like post your setups as well. Like it's really interesting to see how you guys also like trade, you get what I mean? But overall, my anticipation for GBPUSD, let's go maybe to the 4-hour time frame just to run everything back again one more time, right? My anticipation is that there is a break of structure, so everything is still telling us that price is going higher, right? And then we're anticipating that price will come over here. It doesn't have to, guys. Like, understand one thing about trading, price doesn't have to come to here. My anticipation that is going to come with a lot of the confluences that it has. There's a lot of imbalances as much as it is. So my anticipation is that price wants to reverse somewhere over here just to push a little bit low, a little bit low, a little bit low. We'll probably get more opportunities into this buy over here, and then we can look into scaling in and taking all the longs all the way to the top. I will probably hold these buys all the way to the top. Let me show you what I mean. So I'll take these and probably hold them all the way to the top, maybe ride it out the whole year. Maybe the first 6 months of the year will be a bit bullish. So as you can clearly see, right, that high is something that I'm really targeting, as much as it is, because price is pushing a bit higher and higher and higher, and as much as it is. And then we have a change of character over here, so we should be mindful at the fact that overall the higher time frame structure is telling us that we have changed into bearish. But right now we're just trickling in and out, maybe relatively to this order block as well. Maybe the high is a bit ambitious. We could target this order block relatively over here, right? So we could push our take profit relatively right over here, and then we can go to the 2-hour once again just to see everything clearly, right? There it is, right? So we can see a push on the way to the top. Alright, so this is NZDUSD on the 4-hour time frame. This is a relatively new pair for everybody that we've been trading on YouTube, because we relatively never trade like any of this. Is a major pair of course, but it's more so the ones that are underrated. Like people don't really pay attention to the NZD dollar. But I want to introduce more currencies. I want to introduce more indices, more synthetics, things like that, guys. So make sure to comment down below what type of pairs, what type of things metals you want to see. Maybe you guys want to see silver, you want to see Brent oil. Those are the types of things I can tap into mainly with our strategy. It really works. But now looking at NZDUSD on the 4-hour time frame, mainly I want to start this on the 4-hour time frame. We could go to the daily time frame for my swingers, obviously, but with the structure that I've been clearly seeing, there's a lot of bullish movements all the way to the top. We have a retracement over here. We can anticipate price just wants to come over here, but for now we can still anticipate that price could push in a bit lower and lower, right? Let's go into the 4-hour time frame just to kind of explain why I'm saying this, right? So look, I think just like GBPUSD, there is a break of structure that we can relatively see over here, right? There is a break of structure, and then as you can clearly see over here, there is a purge of liquidity, as you can clearly see. So as much as it is, when price is pushed up like this is a whole expansion that we see over here, right? And with expansions they come retracement, reversals, and then all the way down over here we can get in some sort of like entry, right? So with my anticipation, looking at the way the market's been moving, let's just mark out this high, mark out this low, so we know what range we're playing in. We're currently playing in between this range, right? So now looking at price had impulsively moved up, right? But now it formed this rising wedge, right? And it reversed. This is called a reversal pattern. A rising wedge is a reversal pattern, right? So now price has reversed. When price reverses like this, we can already anticipate that now price wants to come back and retest where it initially retraced off of and then push all the way down, right? And the thing that also makes me very, very, very interested in this is because of this candle, right? Or these candles, you get what I mean? They're not as impulsive as these clean ones, right? But you can clearly see there is a push, and this is on the 4-hour time frame, guys. So you need to understand, like, this time frame, the main reason I really like to get my bias, like I really get my bias from the 4-hour time frame. Then I know even when I play around like the 1 hour time frame, the 30-minute time frame, 15-minute, like relatively everything's gonna make sense because I understand the higher time frame bias, right? Because already we mentioned that already we understand from the daily time frame, we're anticipating price to push a bit lower into these points just to push a bit higher, right? So automatically our order block or a higher time frame target is over here, but understanding now the lower time frame structure, we can trade it into the higher time frame bias. You get what I mean? I hope everybody still understands what I'm saying, but that's how we move about it, right? Especially in Discord. If you don't understand, most of these trades will be posted in Discord so you can understand. So now look at the beauty of this, right? Before I highlight anything, as you can clearly see, right, I'm gonna mark this order block over here, right? So Mr. Flair, why are you marking this one specifically, right? The main thing that's interesting me is this candle over here, right? As you can clearly see, it's an imbalance. An imbalance clearly states that there's smart money being involved, and banks are usually gonna come back and mitigate those positions, right? And if you take some time to look at this, all of this, like this is all some sort of what do we call this? Liquidity resting, right? So we can anticipate price to come in over here. It probably makes sense on the lower time frame, but it looks so clean on the 2-hour, guys. Even like, it's understandable. It's a reversal pattern. It breaks out of the reversal pattern. We could classify this as a change of character in most cases. And then price, we can see price just retrace a little bit just to tap us in and then fall the way down, right? Let's just go into the 1-hour time frame so we can get a relatively look on the order block, right? So as you can clearly see, this is mainly a supply. What do we call this? Yeah, a supply zone more than an order block. As much as it is a tad bit bigger than what the positions that we usually trade. Let's see how many pips is this, right? It is a tad bit bigger than what we usually trade, but it's something that I'm genuinely interested in. So it's like 19 pips, 20 pips. So I could really push it maybe a bit higher, maybe 20 pips. Allow price to do its thing, and then afterwards take profit one will most definitely be 1:3. Like for me, I really like 1:3 because it's safe. Like with my strategy, I know 1:3 is something that I can get with the positions that I trade, because in most cases I get in at a very low pips, sniper entries as much as it is. You can check out the Discord, guys, if you want to see the trades that I take with the team and everybody else. They're all on Discord. Just make sure to go check it out, guys. The link will be in the description below. But take profit one is usually 1:3. Like I kind of keep it simple. Take profit one, take something as much as from me, because some trades do reverse and then they come to break even. You get what I mean? But 1:3 is relatively good. And then maybe if you are a structural trader, you could be looking at these lows or relatively pushing it all the way down here, right? As you can clearly see, this is also an imbalance. Like what we're looking for over here is genuinely something that we're looking for over here, right? There's a purge of liquidity. Price came over here. It just bolted, guys. Like you can clearly see that price already bolted, right? So for my anticipation, I would really like to execute between these zones over here, because I could either mark out this order block over here or relatively this order block over here, right? But with how everything is moving, let's check the 2-hour time frame. Maybe it might highlight something, or we highlighted a whole zone. But relatively, this is a good spot to look into closing the positions, or look into taking confirmational entries. If you want to know confirmational entries, the link of the video will be on top over here. Just make sure to click it, check out the how to take confirmational entries. It makes things so easier, so we don't have not waste time on the breakdowns, because I know people just want to get the information and go, right? So yeah, so my anticipation with NZDUSD this week is that we can relatively see it playing, and then eventually tapping us in to we can push all the way down, right? And then once we get to the lower point, since there's really no confirmed order block, I mean, we can highlight any of the two, right? Both of them are high probability, but I'm just saying, just being patient and seeing how price really responds when it gets to this zone is very important, because that's where you can get the snapper entries instead of taking the order or the order blocks or the positions with 25 pips, 30 pips. If you're just patient enough, you can get in with the 10 pip or 8 pip stop loss even. You get what I mean? So now let's move over to NZDJPY. Alright, so now tapping into NZDJPY, this is on the 4-hour time frame, but for all my swing traders, I understand you guys aren't all the same traders, so we'll just start on the daily time frame just to see what price is saying. Like in most cases, before even market structure, guys, like looking at the candles really tells you a story, like how the market's moving. If you're already seeing these types of things, this is a currency that you're supposed to remove out of your watch list, because already it makes no sense. It's staying in one place as much as it is, right? So with NZD, what I like, it's been playing around, but now we're starting to see some bigger candles. You know, the longer the candles and the bigger the candles, those are tradable days, right? There's movement. If there's movement, there's entries. If there's entries, there's money to be made. You get what I mean? So now, taking it easy, taking it day by day, seeing how the structure is moving. It's relatively moving like the other major pairs, right? But as you can clearly see, there is some movement in the pair. So let's tap into the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame, we have landed, right? So now we need to kind of understand where are we playing around, right? So we kind of have to zoom out just for 2 seconds, right, to understand what is our play range or play area. So it's relatively here and relatively low over here, right? So once we see that, then we understand that, okay, cool, what has price been doing, right? Price has pushed up all the way to the top over here and pushed lower, right? Here we can classify this as a change of character, but price never really moved lower and lower, so we can classify this as just price doing its thing, right? That we can classify it as a change of character. Price decided to change around its motion, then we can classify here as a change of character. Obviously, it happened on the lower time frames. Like we could probably get in at maybe the 1-hour time frame so we can see what the situation is. But for now, let's just mark this one clearly as a change of character, right? Let me just use this one just for cleanliness. I just like my charts looking clean more than anything. So we can classify this as a change of character, right? So now we understand this is our range, right? With the nice thing about these types of pairs, you can just spread them out, see what's really happening. There's different patterns that you can already see, you know, falling wedges, flag patterns. This is showing you signs of bullishness because price is continuously pushing higher and higher. You get what I mean? As you can clearly see here, we can classify this as a break of structure. You get what I mean? Let's just mark it out really nice, really clean. This is a POS. So now, seeing how everything has been moving and how everything has transpired, we could probably mark this out as a place where price had been executed. As you can clearly see, beautiful stuff. So that's a 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame is just to get the bias, guys. Like you could probably get the bias on the daily time frame, but on the 4-hour time frame, you kind of see structure. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like there's a higher high over here, there's a lower low. We're moving over somewhere else. You get what I mean? But look at this, right? Same situation with like the other major pairs. This isn't a major pair, it's more like a minor, but I really wanted to add it because of the structure. The structure is looking nice, like as much as it is, you get what I mean. There is a purge of liquidity over here and price did push a bit lower and lower, so we can understand like we're reaching a point where there's a potential sign of a reversal, right? Even if I move this pattern because I'm seeing something, I just don't want to confuse everybody, but there's different ways you can view these markets as much as it is, right? So look, here's all the push all the way to the top. You get what I mean? This is a reversal pattern. Eventually price is going to turn around and then push lower and lower, but from my anticipation and from what I can see, right, not using patterns as much as it is, just using pure market structure, right? Let's go to the 2-hour time frame. For me, I can already see that, okay, cool, my entry criteria is what I'm looking for already over here, right? There's some sort of consolidation happening over here. Price has broken the high and is anticipating or is slowly retracing into this area, right? Already this order block is something that I can already see because number one, there's a purge of liquidity that happened over here relatively, right? And then number two, that this purge of liquidity is responsible for the change of character that happened over here. Maybe on the 1-hour time frame it's gonna look nicer. Let's just push over to the lower time frame. But look, like even this and in and of its own, there's some sort of consolidation that was happening over here, right? Price eventually pushed up and expanded slow and slower, but like especially with minor pairs, right? I'm not expecting the expansions to be as crazy as like these types of ones. You get what I mean? This would be nice to see relatively here, but I don't expect this from minor pairs. There's not a lot of volatility. There's not a lot of people trading these things, so it's like just understand that not all of them are gonna look the same. I'm way more strict on the major pairs because I understand that everybody's trading them, so you kind of have to see the things that you kind of want to see. You get what I mean? So now my anticipation is with this one is that the change of character did happen relatively here, that I mentioned on the 2-hour time frame, right? We'll just mark this out like this. The change of character did happen, right? And price continued to break structure and form highs, right? So this is the high that it initially formed, right? So my anticipation is that it's going to come in a bit deeper, just to respect, right? So maybe we can see it respecting this order block that we can relatively see over here, mainly because there's a purge of liquidity that happened based after it, and then the whole move really originated from this order block relatively here. Like everything just started making sense immediately after the purge of liquidity happened, right? So those are the types of things that I'm really looking for in terms of my entries. You get what I mean? And then let's just back it up 2 seconds a bit. So for me, right, this is a zone where I'm interested in just coming out, because I understand that this is a reversal pattern. We're currently in a reversal pattern, and on the higher time frame, this is probably a zone where we're going to be reversing off of. So that would be a point. This high would be a point where I want to take out all my positions, right? So now if I were to execute, I would execute relatively over here, right? And then stop loss relatively just about, like, just give it some breather room, maybe just a little bit less breather, but like something like that. Maybe we could do 15 pips. Let's see how 15 pips look, just to be relatively that type of guy. So 15 is 150, like that. 15 pips is literally on the dot, so maybe we can do 17. Nope, 17 pips, like that, right? So looking clean, like that's relatively makes sense. You get what I mean? It's giving it some breather, right? And then take profit will obviously be 1:3. That's take profit 1. You already know, like with my strategy and the way we trade, like 1:3 always gets hit all the time. So this is something that you should be looking into. We'll even mark it out like this just for cleanliness. So that's take profit 1. Right, and then take profit 2 will be relatively all the way to the top over here, right? So obviously you as a trader will decide where you feel comfortable closing your positions, right? But relatively this one is a safe one. It's relatively also on like as you can see market structure, how it's looking like. Price has been playing around over here at this point, so you can anticipate, like, even when it comes and taps you in, like this is a point where you want to come out before it starts playing around, maybe reverse and then just push a bit high, you know, for people who are not really good in terms of like psychology, right? But now let's just run it back 2 seconds so we can understand one more time for everybody that has been paying attention. So clean cut finish, we understand that we are in an uptrend relatively because of the way the price has been moving, right? We checked on the daily time frame, but we can already see, or we can already anticipate, that there is going to be a reversal pretty soon, mainly because of the change of character that happened over here, right? Yes, price continued to change character and move high and high, but my overall perception of this one, because it's the New Zealand against the yen, it's not like the dollars where you can really, you know, anticipate, but I anticipate the New Zealand maybe losing a bit of strength, and the Japanese yen pushing a bit more higher, so we can see the decline in the NZ, like the New Zealand dollar, right? So now understanding that bias, like this is the thing, like with the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame, it's mainly for bias, guys. Like you can use fundamentals, you can use market structure, but like your 4-hour time frame is just mainly for you to understand where are we going, like how are we going, where are we going. Like daily time frame is just to understand if the currency that you're trading is even moving. Like you don't want to be in a trade for 16 hours, you get what I mean? So those are the types of things that you need to also consider, taking the time to understand that the 4 hours for bias, and then the 1 hour, the 2 hours, those are the time frames you really want to chill on a lot, especially once you got your bias right, because that's where you make your most money. That's where you know your entries, that's where you know the market structure, you get what I mean? And then already you can see there was already a thingy, and then price pushed over here. There's a change of character internal. We can even mark this as an internal, right? Price pushed higher, and then after the break of structure happened, price continued to push down. Price is just reversing slowly. Price could even respect this order block that we can clearly see over here, because there is a purge of liquidity, guys. Like it also makes sense relatively over here. because there is a purge of liquidity. But for me, the one that I really like the most is this one, because there is a consolidation. Wherever there's a consolidation, guys, is probably the best place you can get in terms of like entry, right? Then we allow price to come back in a bit deeper, and then that's where we're gonna take our trades, right? Take profit 1:3, as you can clearly see. Thank you. You get what I mean? That's relatively 1:3. And then now, just once again, guys, check out the Discord. This is where everything happens. Like, this is where I genuinely post all my setups that I can clearly see, so you guys can come in, check it out. And don't forget, guys, maybe for the first 2 months, 3 months, it's going to be for free. Like, everything that I'm posting over here is just giving out information for free for people who really want to understand the way I trade, so people see like the profits that I make. You get what I mean? Then after this time goes on, this service will be a bit charged, and a bit like maybe a monthly subscription, but overall you'll know the value that you're getting based on the Discord that I'm thinking, right? And then there's already educational things. There's survival manuals, there's a trader's report card, there's a blueprint to trading psychology, and I'm adding more and more, guys. So make sure to check it out. The general chat is where we all just talk about it and chat it up whenever we want to chat. So guys, make sure to join. A lot of people have been joining, and then they have been getting all the things that they've been seeing based on the structure. You get what I mean? So thank you for watching till this end. It's Mr. Flair signing yet another week.